Hi, I'm Megan Hoffer of Megan Hoffer Photography, as most of you know, and also founder of Lancaster Photography School, where we provide education, mentorship, real world experience, and community for photographers in our area. And today we are super excited to have Nathan here with Shoot With Me. He's actually the founder of Shoot With Me to give us a little bit of insight into this amazing platform that's honestly transforming the way that wedding photographers find help and find jobs and find help for those jobs for wedding photography. And I couldn't be more excited to get a rundown myself and kind of a refresh because I definitely use it myself. I actually just used it last week. So I'm really excited for all of you guys to experience this today. So without further ado, let's hear from Nathan. Nathan, thank you so much for taking the time today to meet with us. And let's hear
Sure.
a little bit about how you got started and the platform, and let's just hear it all.
Yeah, thanks for the introduction. I am a wedding photographer myself. So I've been shooting weddings for 16 years. And several years ago, I don't know, probably 5, 6 years ago at this point, um, I was on Facebook while I was supposed to be editing, of course. And I'm just kind of going through different groups that I'm in, and I'm seeing post after post. I need a second shooter for this job. I need an assistant for that one, or whatever. And it was just constant posting. And then, you get 30 people in the chat that said, "Oh, pick me, pick me." And I've had to go through that as well. Like when I needed a second shooter, I would be posting in local Facebook groups, and I would go through that same struggle where there's all these different people that are commenting, and then you're going from person to person. You're checking out one person's Facebook page, another person's Instagram, website, gallery site. And some people are listing, all their gear and their experience, and they're like, showcasing themselves really well. Other people are just like available or whatever. But as the person that's looking for help, you're having to go down through. Once you get to the point where there's enough respondents, you're going down through the list, and you're like, okay, this person, I've seen them before or whatever, and you're trying to make a mental note. And then what happens is you have to go reach out to these people via messenger, via text message, whatever. You're like, hey, are you actually available this day still? And sometimes people are like, yeah, but it's 100 miles away, and I want you to kick in 150 bucks for travel. And it's like, okay, well, I don't want to pay travel. And then other people are like, 500 miles away, and they want a hotel and airfare. And you're like, what are you doing? Like, I'm not looking for somebody that's across the country. I'm looking to find somebody that's close to the job.
Right,
Um,
right.
other people, other people are wanting top dollar and don't have the experience to justify it. It's just a complete headache. So I thought to myself, why isn't there a platform that makes it really easy for people to list all of the stuff that studios want to see, their portfolio, their gear list, their experience, all the stuff, right? Have all of that in one place, and then have their availability there, their hourly rates, everything that a studio needs to vet them and determine whether or not they're a good fit for their job. Have it all in one format, and then I can create a job and see who's available, put the right people in my job queue. It all developed over the years. But that idea where I'm the one that's doing all the legwork up front, and then I'm offering the job to the people that are the right fit. And it was also frustrating for me because I had gaps in my schedule as well. I still do, where I want to get hired by other photographers, and I don't want to be constantly going in Facebook groups and responding to job posts and being one of those 40 or 50 people that respond and say, "Ooh, pick me, pick me." I have more important things to do. You guys have more important things to do, especially if you're actively working on building your brand. You don't need to be spending tons of time on Facebook, because
Yes.
what ends up happening is you get in there, you're doing something intentional. You're in the photography groups that you're actually learning in, Megan's group and other groups, I'm sure. But what ends up happening is you scroll a little bit and you see somebody's post and you read the comments and you might get engaged. And all of a sudden you've burned an hour and a half where you should have been using that time for something more productive. So long story short, Shoot With Me is now basically how we imagined it and way more. I'm going to actually share my screen in a second and walk you through what it looks like for a photographer to hire help for a job. Before I do that, can you guys all go into the chat and tell me a little bit about yourself? Say whether or not you're like typically looking to get hired, whether you're looking to get hired and hire help, or just hire help. It'll help me better understand who's tuned in today.
I'm looking to hire.
Perfect. And I'm gonna start sharing my screen here. I actually have a job coming up in June that I need to hire a second shooter for. So I thought it would be fun to show you what it looks like to go from needing somebody, creating the job, seeing who's available, all the way to offering the job to the people that are the right fit. And then I'm going to kind of go through what a portfolio looks or a profile looks like and give you some tips and tricks on how to optimize your profile. But hey, that's awesome. Everybody responding, people looking to get hired, looking to hire some of you guys. That's great. So I'm going to share my screen here. Can everybody see my screen? Yes? Thumbs up? Okay. So everybody can see my screen, right? Yes? Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to create job. And I need to hire a second shooter. So I'm going to click on second shooter. This wedding is Justin and Abigail. Okay, their wedding. So what I'm going to do next is the job type. So basically, when you get a booking request on Shoot With Me, you probably want to know, is this a wedding? Is this another event? Is this a mitzvah, an engagement session? This is a wedding. Everything is alphabetized, so wedding's at the bottom. I need somebody for June 16th, Friday, June 16th. I pay for 8 hours. I don't know the exact timeline right now, so I'm not going to put in start time and end time. Job location is at Drew Moore. And I'm just going to say regular second shooting stuff. I'll come back to this later on, maybe, probably not. Okay, so right off the bat, if you have favorites in the system, if you've gone through and you've done the process of pre-vetting talent, which I can show you later on, but when you go through that process, what it enables you to do is add people as your favorite before you create jobs. You can go through their portfolio, look at their reviews, and basically determine, hey, is this person a good fit for my style? Are they a good fit for the rates that I'm looking to pay, the experience level that I'm needing for my jobs? What is important for you might not be the same that's important for me. So we built in a lot of tools that make it really easy for you to identify who is a good fit for you. Sometimes people are primarily concerned about the rate that the photographer is offering, as long as they're relatively competent. Other people are looking for a higher end photographer who has been doing this a long time, has their own studio. But right here, there's 35 people that are available within the radius of this job. Now, when you're setting availability on your end, you say, okay, I am based in this zip code and I want to accept jobs within a certain radius. So I might do a 50-mile radius. You might say, I want to be available for jobs that are in a 100-mile radius of your location. You can do up to 150 miles. So if you do the max area, that means that you might be getting jobs in Maryland and middle of Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, some parts of Jersey, maybe even New York, depending on where you live. The idea is wherever you make yourself available, you are doing so without the expectation of travel pay. We built the platform so that photographers can hire local help. So when you're setting your availability, be considering how far you're willing to go for jobs. That's just kind of a little tip and trick for when you set your availability. We'll get over to that in a second. I just wanted to point that out. But all these people are people that I have worked with in the past. This little star or heart icon next to them. They're people that I've hired. I'm comfortable with them. So what you can do is you can click on their name. You can see their portfolio. You can see what badges they've earned. So the way that the badges work is it allows you to see, okay, is this person a fast responder? Have they been favorited a lot? Do they have a high acceptance rate? And you can look at those badges that they've earned on the platform and say, hey, this person is going to get back to me pretty quickly, or this person is likely to accept my job if I send them a booking request. So I worked with Mike a couple of weeks ago. He's fantastic. You can read their bio. You can see their external portfolio link. You can see what gear ecosystem they're in, what gear they actually have. You can read their reviews. A lot of stuff that you can see there. Basically everything that you would want to see as a hiring photographer. If you add them to your job queue, you can message them and say, hey, you know, I'm offering you this job. You know, here are some more details, yada, yada, yada. You can communicate back and forth in the app. So I'm going to add Mike to my job queue and go to the next person. I'm going to move this tab out of the way so that I'm not clicking it here. Okay. So go to the next person. So Mike Ragusa, I've worked with him a handful of times as well. He's great. So I'm going to add him to my job queue. He's earned a bunch of badges. So he's been favorited by a bunch of photographers. He's been booked a ton. He's been reviewed a lot as an assistant. He's also being reviewed a lot as a second shooter. He's somebody that has started out on Shoot With Me as an assistant and gained experience over several months to the point where he started second shooting and has built a solid portfolio as a second shooter just from jobs he's booked on Shoot With Me. So a lot of people take that pathway where they go from being an assistant and just picking up whatever jobs they can get and being very intentional about it. And I'll give you some tricks on how to do that in a little while. But once he started earning a lot of reviews, it made it really easy for him to transition to being a second shooter because people knew him and trusted him and knew that he had a good understanding of what a wedding day flows like. And it was just a matter of giving him an opportunity to shoot. So have him added to my job queue. Scott, he's great. I'm going to add him to my job queue. And Nick, he has beautiful work. I'm going to add him to my job queue. I could go through all of these different profiles and see the same thing. Some people have been hired, but they haven't been reviewed yet because the job is upcoming. So you can still see some of their badges. Some other people, they might have created a profile, but they didn't go through the steps of fully completing it. So when I talk to photographers like yourselves who are trying to get hired generally, one of the best things you can do is upload a full portfolio and fully complete your profile. This profile is incomplete. So, you know, I may be less likely to offer her a job because you know, her profile doesn't show me everything I want. Her gear list, her you know, experience level is only a year, and maybe it's at a rate that is higher than I'm looking to pay based on that experience. So you're able to use all of these different tools on the individual profile to determine whether or not somebody's a good fit. So I could go down through more if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. So I have these people selected. I'm going to build my job offer queue, and I can put them in whatever order I want. So I'm going to bump Mike up, you know, both of them are great. $50 an hour is more attractive to me than 60, whatever. So I'm going to give them 2 days to respond to the job. So I'm going to hit start job offer queue. And when I do that, what happens is Mike at the top of my queue, he gets that booking request and he has 2 days to respond. He's the only one that's being offered the job at the time. And if he goes on, once he gets that notification, he goes on, he can hit the accept button. Job is his. I know I have my second shooter locked up. We're good to go. If he declines it or runs out of time, it goes to Mike. Mike would get that booking request and he has the same 2 days to accept or decline, and so on and so forth. The reason we do it that is we don't want you guys being in a position where you get a job offer and you go to accept it and all of a sudden somebody else jumped in front of you and accepted it, right? Like how many times has that happened where you see a job post in a Facebook group and you're like, "Ooh, I'm available, pick me." And then what ends up happening is there's 17 other people that are wanting that job, and the likelihood of you getting that job might not be as high. So on Shoot With Me, when you get that booking request and you accept it, you know the job is asked. And then it's just a matter of whether or not the photographer has a contract for you to take care of. And, you know, sometimes they'll send it through their CRM. Sometimes photographers don't use contracts. Don't recommend that. But, you know, that sometimes happens. And then you basically just coordinate with the lead photographer who offered you the job. to figure out the details that you need to know for the upcoming event. So that is what it takes to offer somebody a job. I drew that out way longer because I was explaining different things. Typically, we find that you can create a job if you have favorites pre-selected by browsing talent. You can create a job and offer it to somebody in like a minute tops. And it's just a great way to save yourself a lot of time because you're not needing to post and wait for people to respond and then go through all those things. So if that fits what you're looking to do with getting or finding help for your jobs, this is a great workflow for that. However, if you're looking to get hired, let me back up. I'm going to stop sharing real quick here. Come back to the chats here. Does anybody have any questions before I proceed about how hiring help works? If you do, put your hand up or just start talking, and I'm happy to answer.
It looks like Brittany is asking, what kind of photos should you put for an assistant profile? I don't know if you're going to get there in a bit, but
Yeah.
that's the question I'm seeing here.
Yeah, I can answer that right now.
Yeah, feel free to unmute yourself and just talk too.
Yeah.
Please feel free to jump in. This is a conversation. It doesn't have to be just
absolutely.
me and Nathan. So please feel free.
So I put that in as kind of like, because I was looking through everything. I was like, I better ask that before that question leaves my head.
Yeah.
But I think I am kind of, I created a second shooter profile, but now I'm learning more that I should be more of an assistant first, because I mean, I have shot primary lead photographer a couple of weddings, but they were smaller, more intimate weddings.
Mhm.
And I'm learning as I'm experiencing with everybody, with other photographers that I've worked with, that larger weddings you definitely should assist with before you start second shooting. So would you recommend creating two profiles, just starting out with one? And if it is an assistant, what kind of pictures do you recommend putting in?
Yeah, great question. If your goal is to ultimately second shoot, but you don't have an established portfolio to show, you can create an assistant account and get hired to assist. And then when you're ready, upgrade your account to a second shooter account. And with the second shooter account, you can both second shoot and assist. You can set availability for both. Because you already have a second shooter profile, if you have a solid portfolio to show, you have images that you're really proud of, and you feel like they're representing your body of work, absolutely upload them. But when people are hiring assistants, they don't need to see any images. You're not going to be shooting. It's a non-shooting role. You're there to carry bags, hold lights, keep the lead photographer organized. Yeah, it's just, you're not going to be shooting. So the quality of your photography is really not important. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll get to some of that in a second when we're talking through some of the strategies as well for people that are looking to get hired. They're looking to kind of crack into the industry, but they just have no traction so far. Ahmed, go ahead.
You were reading my mind, Nathan. So that's exactly that question is when you're like, I've been following Shoot With Me for a very long time. Megan told me about it, and I signed on, and till now I didn't get any traction. Even if I established an assistant profile, and even with zero fees, like I'm not looking to get paid, I'm looking to get the experience, the shadowing experience, the assistant experience. And as you said, hopefully one day I'm going to be second shooting or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Exactly what you have done now, building a job, and I believe, and it might be my mind of set, but I think most of the lead photographers are mostly looking for people with experience, or people with like previous assistant or previous second shooting experience. How we as newbies are people that never had an assistance or a second shooting kind of an experience, and to start bringing some eyes to them, even if we are not charging anything, but still, I believe some people might feel that we might be a burden, we might interrupt their job, we might interrupt their day, so they are better like paying even lower fees or a little bit higher fees than taking a chance on someone new?
Yeah, great question. Megan and I were just talking about this before everybody joined. The most important thing you can do if you are looking to assist to gain traction, you know you're not in a position where second shooting is where you're at from a skill level standpoint and just from an experience standpoint. Assisting is a great way to just kind of learn the ropes of what a wedding day is like. When you set your availability, if you set it for $0 an hour, and I believe you've actually done this, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So that is absolutely fantastic. Here's why. And when I'm looking for assistance for random jobs, and I'll be looking for an assistant for that June 16th date, I'm looking for people who are really serious about wanting to learn and grow. And when I see somebody that has their rate set for $0 an hour, it tells me that they care more about experience than they do about making a little bit of money. And you know, when I find somebody that has their rate set to $0 an hour, I know they're serious, because who's going to give up a Saturday and make no money, or only make a little bit of tip money or whatever? Well, it's the people that are actually wanting to progress in their career. The people that are charging $30 an hour for assisting, and they have no experience. Well, they're a lot more high risk for somebody to hire, because you're like, okay, are you just trying to make some fast money? Are you actually serious about this? Because if you have no experience and you're trying to make $30 an hour assisting, kind of ridiculous, I'll be honest. So your strategy is absolutely perfect. What else I would recommend for you to do is in your bio, pretty much with an assistant profile, because there's no portfolio and there's no gear necessary. There's very little that you can do there to stand out right now. But one of the things you can do is take time and really craft your bio to tell prospective studios about you, what your goals are, why you're using your $0 an hour rate to gain experience. Just kind of really spell it out there that you are serious about getting hired to do this. And that is a really great way to gain traction. In just about a month or so, we are launching a certification for assistants and second shooters and lead photographers. But we're going to have an assistant certification course that people can take, where they can kind of learn the ropes of what it means to be an assistant, how to really be an asset to the photographers that are hiring you. And then you'll get a badge on your profile that says this person is assistant certified or second shooter certified. And it will make you way more attractive, even if you've never been hired before. So keep your eye out for that. Brittany, do you have something else you'd like to say?
No, I just love that idea.
Perfect. All right, good.
I would add something, Nathan, as well.
Yeah.
With this certification, which is a great idea. Think about something that assistants who are truly looking for experience like, when you place an ad on eBay or Facebook and they ask you, would you like to promote your ad? So find a way that people can promote themselves, like maybe by paying a kind of a small fees or extra bit or something, and they come on the top of their searches in a way that they can get more traction by promoting themselves.
Yeah, it's a really neat idea. It's definitely something that we've thought about. We're trying to build in other tools where we're not elevating people just because they're willing to pay more to shoot with me to be higher in search results. We'd rather have it be more democratized, where when we display search results right now, they're random, because we don't want the same people getting hired all the time just because they're appearing at top of search results. The only caveat to that is when you make somebody a favorite, it does make them appear at the top of your search results, because we encourage people to pre-vet talent before they need jobs. It makes it so that if you're ever in a pinch and it's a Wednesday before a Friday wedding and your second shooter that you had hired gets ill or whatever, you can quickly go on and just quickly add those favorites to your job queue, offer them the job, and not be stressed out. But it's definitely something where we're trying to give people a way where they can stand out from the pack if they're truly serious about it. The certification is going to definitely help with that, because not everybody is going to go through that certification process. So keep your eye out for that announcement. For anybody that is currently a Shoot With Me user, you'll get notified when those certifications are ready, and you'll be able to go through that course, take an assessment, and then get that certification. Make sense?
I have one more quick question.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Is there I think I have a Shoot With Me, so I should know this, but I'm going to be honest and admit it's been a while since I've been on it because, yeah. Is there a specific section where you can say what kind of weddings that you want to do? Like for me, like I want to focus on LGBTQ weddings, and getting hired for those. I know they're more rare in this area than most. But is there like a certain section where you can post that you'd like
Yeah.
to assist
Yeah.
with those?
That's a perfect transition. I'm going to share my screen again. And I'm going to show a little bit about a profile. Okay, so when you sign up for an account, you're going to go through an entire onboarding process where it's asking you your name and your email address, your phone number, all this stuff, so that your account can get set up. If you're looking to be a second shooter or a lead photographer and you have the relevant experience for that, you will be prompted to upload a portfolio and your gear list and stuff. But if it's just an assistant profile, it's going to ask you less questions. But I have a lead shooter profile. So I have my portfolio up here. And just a little bit about it. When you set availability, you are setting availability for a certain location. So a lot of times people do it based on where they live. You're doing the radius, like I mentioned before, and you're also listing your hourly rate. If you have limited experience, be honest with that and have a lower rate because you'll become more attractive. If your rate and the value you deliver is not in alignment, you will not get hired, period. So we've had people that are very new in the industry, have never shot a wedding, and they want $75 an hour to second shoot. Well, there's no value alignment there. You're never going to get a booking request. Conversely, if you've been doing this for a while, you have no reviews on Shoot With Me, you're new to the platform, but you have a lot of wedding experience, kind of the standard rate is $50 an hour for people that know what they're doing, have experience. If you're in that bucket typically, but you don't have any traction on the platform, make yourself available for $40 an hour, because all of a sudden you're delivering more value than the rate that you're charging. So you become a really great asset to the studio because they're getting a great deal on what you're bringing to the table. And what you're getting out of it is a review. And when you have reviews on Shoot With Me, it just exponentially increases the likelihood that you get hired again, if it's a 5-star review. If you show up and you're on your phone all day and you're dressed like a slob or whatever, like obviously that's gonna get you knocked down on the professionalism scoring for the review. But if you show up and you're excellent and you do everything great and you're there to serve the lead photographer, you're going to earn a 5-star review. And that's going to make it a lot easier for you to gain traction and then raise your rate over time. So just to reiterate that, we've had so many people who started out as an inexperienced assistant with no gear, no experience with weddings whatsoever. They started assisting because they made themselves available for free or for really cheap. They got hired, they built up reviews, they started investing in education, they started investing in some gear, they made themselves available to second shoot at a really attractive rate. And people that had worked with them as an assistant said, hey, I'll give you a shot for an upcoming wedding. I know you're gonna work hard, you're gonna bring your A game, and you've seen how I interact at weddings. And you know, maybe the first couple weddings are a little bit bumpy and you get some feedback and you know, you develop your skills. And some of those people are now running their own photography studios in a matter of a year and a half of using Shoot With Me. I mean, that is rapid growth from going from no wedding experience to booking their own clients. That's the trajectory that everybody wants to be on if they're looking to run their own photography company at some point. So keep that in mind when you're setting your rate, that the rate that you're charging is going to directly correlate to the type of offers you get and how often you get those offers. So a good bio is going to tell the studio a little bit about who you are as a person, a little bit about your personality, a little bit about your professional experience. If you are not honest with who you are and your experience, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb, because you might get hired. And if the person you are in real life doesn't align with what you said you are, you're not gonna do yourself any favors. So be honest in your bio, and that's gonna really help out. You don't need to tell us about, your cats and what they do all day long or whatever. A couple sentences about you personally, a couple sentences about you professionally, a couple sentences about your personality, and are you an introvert, extrovert? Are you a go-getter, or you kind of stay in the corner and wait till you're prompted to do something? Share those types of things, and that'll really give the photographers that are looking to hire a clear view of who you are. If you have a second shooter or a lead photographer profile, again, you're going to have a portfolio. Typically, we ask for 10 images upon signing up. 10 images is not enough. When you get to your profile, upload 50 or 100. If you have anything less than that, it's just not enough images for a studio to properly vet you. Nobody's going to hire you based on 10 images. And a monkey can get 10 great images at enough weddings. So, I mean, maybe, but you get the idea. Like, take time, upload a full portfolio so that they can go down through, they can see you have experience with receptions, with candids, with different parts of the day, silhouettes. Show work that aligns with the style of photography that you do in real life. Don't try to show light and airy work and dark and moody and true to life and 17 other different styles. Show consistency in your work, because then when photographers are looking at your work, they know what they're gonna get, right? It makes sense. If you have a website, you can put a link to that. You can say what gear ecosystem you're in. Back when we first launched the platform, some people would say, "Oh, I use Canon, Nikon, Leica, Sigma, yada yada yada, Sony, whatever." It's like, no, you don't. Like, pick the ecosystem that you have all your gear in, because when photographers are hiring help, sometimes they want to hire people that are in the same ecosystem for editing purposes, for simplicity. If one of my camera bodies breaks and then the other one does, and you're using the same brand, like, we can kind of use each other's gear. That doesn't really happen very often, but like, there's protection there for when it does. List out your equipment. If you're shooting with a camera body that you got at Walmart and some kit lenses and stuff, I mean, put that in your equipment list, and you may get offers from photographers who are needing somebody in a pinch. But more experienced wedding photographers are going to need to have a full camera bag full of pro grade lenses, camera bodies, flash equipment, etc. So list all your gear, because again, that's going to help communicate to those hiring photographers just really who you are and what experience level you have. Brittany, to answer your question, in the skills section, you can put in whatever skills and experience you have. So if you're looking to do LGTB weddings, you can put all those in there as a skill that you have. And then when photographers are searching for talent for jobs, they can filter based on who has experience with those types of weddings. There's nowhere where you can just kind of boldly state, like, I only want this type of wedding or that type of wedding or whatever. And I don't think that that's what you're trying to communicate, but if that's your focus, you can put it in your skills section. Don't put anything in your skills that you don't have legitimate experience with. One of the biggest hangups that we see sometimes is people say, "Oh, I have off-camera lighting experience." And for a lot of people, what that means is they know how to turn their flash on and put it on a light stand, and they can push a button on their transmitter and make it fire. Well, that doesn't mean that you know how to use it, how to properly set it so that it's getting you the results that you want. Make sure you truly are very experienced with these different things, whether they're cultural weddings or they're certain skills that you would need on a wedding day. Because again, if I hire somebody that says they have experience with something and they don't, that's that's a really easy way to get a less than 5-star review. And then also when you're looking at your profile, you're going to see your reviews on the side. You'll be able to go down through. Sometimes people offer private feedback. Sometimes they don't. When you're starting to get hired by people, if you insist that they hire you on Shoot With Me, even if you connected with them off platform, get them to hire you on Shoot With Me so that you can get that first review. Because again, when you start showing up in search results and you have a 5-star review, other photographers will know that you're an attractive option. So now that we have that taken care of, I want to just open it up for questions again, if anybody has questions about profiles or how to make themselves stand out.
Nathan, can I just jump in real quick that if
Absolutely.
anybody here, because most everyone here is a member of Lancaster Photography School,
Sure.
any of you who decide to come and shadow with me on a wedding or, you know, anything like that, I'm happy to create a job on Shoot With Me for that specific thing and review you afterwards. So I know, Ahmed, that's a big thing for you, and I know you plan on shadowing with me for a wedding at some point. So for whichever one you decide to do, I'm happy to create the job on Shoot With Me and then review you afterwards to help get that traction. And then you'll have a review from me of 5 stars. Hopefully we've done a great job. So
Yeah.
happy to do that for all of you too.
Yeah, that is
Megan,
fantastic.
you know, I can even shadow you in washing your car. You know that, right?
Yeah. Hey, guys, that is a fantastic offer. Like that's a free review right there that will make you more attractive. Has anybody been on Shoot With Me? I know Allison has gotten hired a handful of times. Has anybody else in the group been hired already on Shoot With Me?
I wish I can say yes, but no.
Yeah.
I've hired help. I've hired others, but I've never put myself available. I typically don't shoot second shoot very often, but I have hired help, and it was so easy.
Yeah. We built the platform to serve both sides, and our goal with that was to not give such awesome tools to the studio and make it really difficult for the people that are looking to get hired, or vice versa. There's got to be good balance there, because both sides have to come away feeling like they got the better end of the deal. And when it comes to people that are wanting to get hired, and I'm transitioning into how Shoot With Me actually makes money on this. So we didn't want to have it be a scenario where the people that are wanting to get hired could create a profile, throw up a bunch of odds and ends, and we have thousands of photographers that aren't really qualified, aren't really serious, aren't taking it seriously, and they're all on the platform for free. And then we're charging the photographers who are looking for help, and now they're like, okay, well, now I'm paying to find help on Shoot With Me, and I have all this garbage to sort through, and like I have to go through 100 profiles to find somebody that's decent, right? So having the side that's paying be the people that are looking to get hired, it is such a small amount to pay, and you don't pay anything until you get your first booking. So you can join, you can set your profile up, set your availability, etc. But you don't need to worry about investing in the platform until you get that first job request. And when you get that first job request, it's going to show you all of the details for the job. It's going to show you where it is, when it is, what rate you had set, how long the job is, and maybe a few other things, what type of wedding it or what type of event it is. But what it's not going to show you is the person that's offering you the job. We don't want photographers who are getting offered jobs reaching out via Facebook to the photographer that offered them the job and saying, hey, I saw you offered me a job on Shoot With Me, but I don't want to pay to upgrade and accept it there, so I'm reaching out to you here. Like, that would defeat the point for them, because they're not going to get a review. But it also is annoying for the person that's looking to hire help, because the studios that are using Shoot With Me, they recognize that this is a more fluid way to hire help, and it just makes it a lot easier. So once you upgrade and have a regular paid account, for an assistant, it's like $6.90 or $7.99 a month, which is nothing, right? So, or it's peanuts. It's it's a cup of coffee 2 days a week or whatever. But it's giving you that experience. It's giving that opportunity to get hired. Once you're a subscriber, from that point on, you're going to see job offers, see all the details. You'll see that who's offering you the job. It's no longer hiding the studio that is offering you that job. That's just a little bit how that works. Ahmed, what's your question?
No, it's not a question. Actually, I want to share something that happened for me personally with Shoot With Me.
Yeah.
And I joined Shoot With Me, and after I joined by a couple of days, I believe a photographer reached out for an assistant job that unfortunately I was not available that day. And Shoot With Me works like you are on a free kind of a trial till you get your first job. Then it starts charging you for the monthly fees according to what profile you created. And to be honest, like I stayed paying the fees for a couple of months. Then I'm paying fees and I didn't get any benefit out of it. So I reached out to the help like the customer service and asked to cancel my membership.
Mhm.
And I was surprised about the level of service I got, because I was not only offered to stop charging me, I was offered to go back on the free trial till I get back another offer, which shows really that the main purpose about the whole thing is not about profit. It's about really helping people. And yes, guys, Nathan paid me to say that. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, no, it was really a very pleasant experience, and I found that it gave me more confidence about the website, about the main purpose about it, and even in the future, if I'm paying something for it, whatever it is, it's considered as a kind of a support for all the developers and all the people working on the website to help fellow photographers.
Yeah, Ahmed, I was the one that offered you the job, and then I was the one that put you back on the free trial. So it was me every time.
I knew it, Nathan.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah. Mitchell.
Hi. So
Oh,
I
there you
was
go, sorry.
wondering, no, you're totally fine. I was wondering about, so in my experience, I have been a lead photographer for one wedding more recently. And right when I was first starting, I did like a very small, low key wedding. I don't usually use that for my portfolio because it was right when I was starting out and it was very, very not up to my quality that I'm at now. But I've had the lead experience, and I have been an assistant with a family member who was a photographer like once or twice. But I don't necessarily feel very comfortable being like saying that I'm a lead photographer, and I would rather do second shooting. But what would you recommend? Should I continue to try assisting, or should I shoot for second shooting with like just that little bit of experience?
So just to clarify, you shot one wedding as a lead photographer, but that's the extent of your wedding photography experience.
Yeah, that's as far as my wedding photography goes. I've only done one lead photography.
And how did that wedding turn out?
It turned out fantastic.
Okay.
It was mostly all outdoors though, so my my like indoor off-camera flash experience is a little bit more limited.
Okay.
So that's kind of one of the things that almost holds me back from shooting weddings, is because I do lack that off-camera flash experience.
And that's fine. Do you have an on-camera flash?
I actually do not. I used to in my old body, but my newer body doesn't have. I don't really use it as much, so I'm not very like on par with it by any means. I need more practice with it.
Yeah, I would say as a prerequisite to second shooting, you need to have the ability to get good, clean indoor stuff when it's darker. That being said, it does not have to be off-camera lighting. It can absolutely be on-camera flash if you know how to use it. If you're able to, I would highly recommend investing in like a Godox flash. It's like $200, if that, and then go to one of Megan's courses on how to use flash, and you'll be well on your way. But until you have that flash, I would probably just assist, because you don't want to be in a position where everything else is really great throughout the day, but then you get to the reception and you're pumping out all kinds of really underexposed shots and stuff that's not really usable.
Yeah, exactly. Like I tend to shy away almost because there's been a couple other people who've reached out to me about weddings, and it's always this like fear. I'm just like, oh my goodness, is it indoor or outdoor? Because that determines whether or not I feel confident enough to photograph it. So yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Ariel, just so you know, through Lancaster Photography School, Scott Joswhite of SMJ actually teaches a 101 class, a Flash 101 class. He's an award-winning Flash photographer that we've kind of partnered with to teach Flash, and he's amazing and he's so approachable. We do one in-person, we're planning on for the future anyway, one in-person 101 class every year that's at an actual wedding venue. And he's actually in the process of recording his 101 class for our membership online portal. So if you have any interest in signing up for a membership, even if it's just for 1 month to get that one class in, I'd highly encourage you to. He is so knowledgeable and you'll learn so much in that one class. And our
No,
memberships are
absolutely.
only $100 a month. So it's really your return on investment in that 1 month of membership is just astronomical. So just wanted to throw that out there for you.
Thank you. That honestly, the fact that he does them in a wedding venue too, that's fantastic, because that's something that I've even had thought of, where it's just like, I wonder if I could like try to get to a venue with just a couple people and do practice shots and everything. But so yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for showing up today.
Yeah. Anybody else have any questions about profile, setting them up, or anything like that?
If nobody has any questions, I want to just throw out one thing that I always look at, just as, I don't know if it's just because I'm a woman or what, or if it's just everyone. Profile pictures matter.
Mhm.
You want to make sure that your profile picture makes you look friendly
Mhm.
and also reflects the style that you typically shoot. So, even though I try to tell myself not to make a snap judgment based off of someone's profile picture, I can't help it. It's the whole, don't read a book by its cover, but you do.
Mhm.
So it's kind of, I feel like it's the same thing. People start with seeing that profile picture and, it's like, okay, well, that's a Flash photographer. That's a what, that's a natural light photographer. I don't know what style that is. So I'm not even going to look, so I don't know. How do you feel about that, Nathan?
Absolutely. And one of the things, so we do profile audits from time to time for different photographers that reach out. And one of the things that really surprises me is sometimes people are using a profile picture that they snapped on their phone, like just a quick selfie when they were signing up for their account. And then that's what they leave there. And sometimes it's sideways or whatever. And it's like, if you're serious about getting hired and you're not showing a professional-ish picture of yourself, listen, it does not have to be a studio headshot that is absolutely perfect, but it needs to be a neat, clean, intentional photo, right? Show that and be looking friendly. Don't be scowling. Don't be, coming across in a way that would show a studio that maybe you're not going to be a super friendly person for their clients. So smile with your eyes, the whole process. That's going to really help you stand out. Absolutely.
Does anyone have any more questions for Nathan today? This is such an incredible opportunity to have him right here to ask any questions. Ahmed, I see your hands up, but I didn't know if we already answered your question.
Yes, I always keep my hands up, Megan, but no, I'm good.
Okay. So for you guys, for joining us tonight, I wanted to come up with a little special offer, something that would really help you guys speed up your progression on Shoot With Me. For those of you that don't have accounts, for maybe some of you that do. So anybody that reaches out to me, you can message me on Facebook anytime. Once your account is set up, I will do a one-on-one walkthrough with you of your profile and show you how to make your profile stand out. Whether you're looking to assist or second shoot or whatever, I will kind of give you a one-on-one walkthrough of the platform so that you know how to use it in a way that makes it really easy for other photographers to see you and hire you and make you stand out. So reach out, you can reach out via Facebook, or you can reach out via live chat from Shoot With Me. I'm the one that answers those live chat tickets 95% of the time. So don't hesitate to take advantage of that.
Wow, that's incredible. Thank you so much, Nathan.
Sure.
Wow. That's an incredible amount of your time and effort. And
Yeah.
wow, really appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, ultimately my goal is having as many people just have success on the platform as possible. Like I know that when you're first starting out, if you don't get experience by working with other photographers, it takes a lot longer to learn. But when you're able to come alongside of somebody that does have a lot of experience and you're soaking it up like a sponge, you can go to the moon so much faster than I did. Like when I started wedding photography, I did not second shoot or assist for anybody. I accidentally booked my first wedding with a family member. I got paid $300. I had a very entry level Nikon camera at the time. I had a 50 millimeter lens, which is the worst lens in the world. But 50 millimeters garbage. But I shot a whole wedding with a 50 millimeter lens and an on-camera flash, and it was a tented wedding, and it was outside, and it was just like it was an overcast day. It was the perfect storm. But if it would have been in a barn on a dark day, I wouldn't be here. I would have bombed that first wedding, and that would have been the end of my business because I didn't have that foundation of working as an assistant, working as a second shooter, learning the ropes. I had all of my eggs in that one basket, and fortunately, it went really well. But that's not the case for a lot of other people. So don't rush to try to become a seasoned pro overnight. Go climb the ladder step by step and build that foundation, whether it's through Lancaster Photography School and the education you get there, whether it's getting hired on Shoot With Me, whether it's other resources that are legitimate. That being said, don't constantly be going out and chasing education and thinking that if you know it in your head, that's the same as knowing how to do it in real life. Go practice, go look for opportunities to shoot friends, take what you're learning in Megan's classes and then apply it.
Amen.
If you're not
Amen.
doing that, if you're not applying it, you're never going to learn that muscle memory of what to do in certain situations and how to change your settings real fast and all that stuff. You need to be able to work quickly on a wedding day if that's your goal. So yeah, practice.
Absolutely. And for those of you here who may not be familiar with Lancaster Photography School, we offer practice shoots monthly. So for those of you who might have trouble getting clients and things, we provide the clients, you show up and shoot them, and you don't have to worry about all the stressful back end things. We provide them, you show up, take all the pictures, use them for your portfolio, you send them to the clients at the end of the day. And we are planning to, at the end of the year, having a big culminating wedding practice shoot event where we're going to kind of walk through an entire wedding day from start to finish with a couple and just say, okay, it's getting ready time. Let's do that. It's this time. So it's going to be interesting. We don't have it all planned out yet, but yes, Nathan's right. Practice makes all the difference in the world. You can watch online classes all day long. You can come to in-person classes and listen to me chat at you all day long. But until you actually have that camera in your hands and you have clients in front of you having to make all those decisions in quick succession, that's where the money's made. That's where you really start to let it all sink in. So thanks for bringing that up. I'm very passionate about that.
Absolutely. Megan, at that year-end wedding shoot, will there be cocktail hour?
Yeah.
With cocktails and snacks and tasty treats?
Oh yeah, we're gonna feed you big time. I'm all about cocktails.
That's why we're all
treats,
really
so.
wedding photographers, is so we can eat all the cheese and tasty snacks at cocktail hour. So.
Yeah, we'll probably go out afterwards too, because I'm all about that too.
Great opportunity. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys, Nathan. If you have anything else, I want you to plug all the things. Where do we find more about Shoot With Me? How do we connect with you? Let's leave everyone with a little bit of direction as to where to go from here.
Yeah, I'm going to put the URL in the chat here. It's just shootwith.me. You can sign up for free. Again, you don't have to worry about paying anything until you actually get real value. So once you have your account set up, whether it's currently set up or you're going to create it, tonight or tomorrow or whatever, feel free to reach out to me again, and I will do a one-on-one walkthrough, just kind of giving you some additional tips and tricks on how to have success as fast as possible.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And for anybody in the PA area photographers group, Nathan is in our group, so he should be easy to find there. Once this is over, we will take the replay and post it in the group and also email it back out to you guys. And I will post that link in the replay also so that it's easy to find, because once we end this, that link will probably go away. So I'll make sure all of that is easily accessible to you. And again, Nathan, thank you so much for taking
Absolutely.
the time for all of us to make our lives better and help us to our success in wedding photography. You guys, thank you so much. And I hope you have a good night. Thanks for staying up late, because I'm an old lady and I go to bed early. I'll probably go to bed soon, but
Same.
you guys have a great night. Thanks so
Thank
much
you
for
so much,
showing up.
guys. We
Thank
appreciate it.
you. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you, Megan.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.